Good evening, everybody, and welcome tonight. Wrong switch. There we go. Welcome, everybody, tonight to day number 70. Can't believe. Really can't believe we're at day 70. Everybody jumping in here and making sure all the buttons are ready to go. Really solid day today. A lot was accomplished. A lot of things happened as well in Ukraine and throughout the world, and I have everything ready for you as well. Huge announcement tonight. Absolutely huge announcement tonight. So I'm pumped up about that, and I think you will be also. Gonna be good. Going to be good. Silvio, please forgive me. Marcochia. Did I get an A on that? A B, a C, a D, or an F? Silvio Marcochio, welcome. Welcome to all of you guys. We're getting it. We're moving everybody over because the onslaught began today. Working with Haywood on the back end of some things and some other things we're going to make the adjustments to. They picked the fight, and we're coming to fight in regard to getting the truth out in regard to Ukraine. So that's what we're up to. That's what we're going to be doing tonight. We've got a full hour together. We're going to spend 53 minutes, 23 more seconds together. I can tell you that coming up tomorrow night, we will have, I get an A, PG, sweet, Marcochia. Is Silvio from Italy? I have no idea, but definitely that's an Italiano name, and I'm sure he can make pasta carbonara very well. Kind of like Rossi on Criminal Minds. Anyway, that's my Criminal Minds Dr. Reed moment for the night. So, folks, here's the deal. We're making some adjustments behind the scenes, working on some things, and you're going to see some differences. Hermitage, PA, the Italian community in Hermitage, PA. Perfect. So, big announcement, big things happening behind the scenes. A lot of updates today in regard to things that you are looking for, interesting in the storylines that we've been following. I've got fresh video straight out of Mariupol. I also have some video tonight that I'm going to show you filmed today, and I'm going to explain something to you about Mariupol. In my opinion, Mariupol has fallen. Yes, there is still fighting going on in the Azovstal. We will get to that. But the city itself, absolutely fallen. And I hate to say it, but we come here for the truth. And tonight, I'm going to validate that for you. So that's where we're at with that. We're ready to get going. Welcome to all of you. Thank you for being here tonight on all the platforms. And I want to jump right in. We had a picture sent in today from beautiful Los Gatos, California. For those of you that do not know where Los Gatos is, I've been to Los Gatos many times. Southwest a little bit of San Jose. It is in the San Francisco Bay Area. There's a lot of nerds living in Los Gatos. Let me just put it that way. There are a lot of nerds that live in Los Gatos. It is a beautiful part of the country. And as you can see, even in Los Gatos, they are supporting Ukraine. Also, coming across my timeline today was pretty cool. This is an event I spoke at not too long ago in Ukraine. Right there in the middle, I'll make it a little bit bigger for you. There I am sitting. The guy to my left is Valery Alamov. I probably need to get him on here one night. He lives in Kyiv, and he's actually a very high-ranking chaplain in the Ukrainian army. I'm talking way up there. Very good friend of mine. We were speaking at a conference there, and he had invited me, and that was a picture that come across my timeline today. So I like to show things that show. Yeah, Ukraine's my second home. Okay, folks, here you go. Could not bypass this one today. Boris Johnson doing the Boris Johnson thing. I don't know what I like more here, his hair, his eyes, or his big blue ribbon with his name on it. Either way, I like Boris Johnson, And the reason I'm showing that today is to put a smile on your face, number one. Secondly, look at that beautiful haircut. So if you got out of bed this morning and you thought you had bad hair, there's Boris Johnson for you. That's some really good hair. I wish I could get my due to do that. Anyway, in regard to Boris Johnson, he today had a street named after him in Lviv. They changed the name of one of the major thoroughfares to Boris Johnson Ulitsa, which would be Boris Johnson Street, and just to thank him for the help and the leadership that he has shown in Europe and also helping out for the war. So I thought that was very cool. I want to show you one more thing that I think you will enjoy, and that is this one. Cartoon coming out today. I do not know where it came out. The guy that wrote it was Blow, and I know it was in Europe. I do not know from where, but it was released actually yesterday, the 3rd, but I just got it today. This is the Victory Day. This is the practice of the Victory Day parade that will be happening in Moscow. On the left, you can see Vladimir Putin there with all of his big-hatted generals. And the left, you see the military, and what's left of them injured with carrying wooden cutouts of their tanks to parade by. So I think that's pretty cool. And yes, definitely the hair. The hair rocks, that's for sure. And I love that little cartoon right there. It's fantastic. So folks, are you ready? Are you ready? Huge announcement tonight. Huge. Massive. Gargantuan. In Russian, we would say очень большая. Unbelievable. I should have printed out a list of synonyms. Shocking. Expected. Hoped for. Grateful. Blown away. Making a difference. Telling the truth. Folks, I'd like to update you that today we went over 100,000 bucks. So a big thank you. On the left, you have the Bethel Life logo. It's our base church here. Pastor Kent doing all of the administration. On the top right, my logo with all of this stuff that we do here. Below my logo, the shelter, their logo. And on the left, under Bethel Life, Lamplighters, another partner organization with my mentors, Larry and Deborah Menninger. So folks, I'm telling you right now, unbelievable. Michael Chido and Heather Chido, when we were like at 25,000 bucks, I said, you know what? We're going for 50. And it was either Michael or Heather, and they are viewers and supporters and helpers, helped me quite a bit on the back end for information. They put it out there. Forget that. Let's go for 100K. Well, 70 days, we've raised $100,000. Folks, as I tell you always, every penny plus. But I just want to pause for a minute, give thanks to the Lord, give thanks to all of you guys. This is a major team effort. But folks, you know, this is not Walmart. This is a group of people trying to tell the truth and support the country we love so much and the people we love so much. We've raised a stinking $100,000. Woo! I almost feel a happy dance. Okay, new goal, 110. Don't even think about it, Chidos, of saying 200. 110. Unbelievable. And as I told you, folks, every penny plus goes to Ukraine. It is meeting the needs. As you know, Zhenya right now is hand delivering a refugee from Mariupol to Germany. We're purchasing new vehicle. He's supposed to have a couple of options in Europe today. We're feeding people. We're supplying the military. We're working with 4 shelters. I mean, we're buying fuel. We're buying bullets. We're buying helmets, tourniquets, tourniquets. Unbelievable. Very, very thankful. So to all of you guys at home tonight while you're drinking your coffee or watching, eating your cake, give yourself a pat on the back and a thank you to the Lord. One more cheer. Folks, and we keep on going. Here we go next, 110, because listen, PK and I talked about it today. We were talking earlier today. He said, man, I got the numbers for you. And he texted them over. And listen, this war's not stopping, and most likely it's going to get worse. Let's just be honest. So we're going to do our part. But man, we've hit a huge goal. And when you hit a huge goal, you just set a new one. So here we go. We're pushing on. TQs are so important and expensive. They are. And they're hard to find. TQs standing for tourniquets. They are brutal. I mean, literally, for the job that we're doing to supply tourniquets, real tourniquets. Zhenya's finding them in the Netherlands, in Germany, England, Portugal, Poland, and working to get them in. Every time he's traveling, he's getting tourniquets. So I'm sure there will be more tourniquets coming this time. All right, folks, that's the celebration for tonight. Thank you all. And remember, 1 Applebee's meal a week. You donate at www.blwc.org. Thank you very, very much. All right, folks, today, this is actually from Dmitry Kuleba, who's the foreign minister. He just came out with a tweet a little while ago that says, today, day 70, the worst day in general for attacks since the war began. That is why I said it doesn't look like it's going to slow down. This is a map that has basically been happening all during the day in Ukraine. It's not good, folks. It's not good. Ukraine has basically, the entire nation, been under air raid sirens the entire day. I've received tons of video today of the strikes and the shelling. I will just list the cities for you. I could have put some of that together, but I've shown you other video of the strikes and the shelling. And Dmitry Kuleba, his actual quote, and that's the foreign minister, was, tonight is a night of hell in Ukraine. Russia has unleashed an aerial assault. And that comes back to the story that was such a phrase in the beginning of the war, which was close the skies. And as you know, the skies are not closed. Up in the upper left, I want you to pay attention to something. You see the truck with the missile launcher in the upper left that is in the corner on Belarus, up in the Volyn area that is on the border of Belarus, Ukraine, and Poland. As you know, NATO have been doing many, many exercises. In fact, there was a movement of F-35s into Romania today. F-35s. Not F-16s, F-35s into Romania today. And that would be south. But in response, Russia and Belarus moved quite a large detachment into that upper left corner on the Ukrainian-Polish border. A very large contingent of troops and equipment. So, of course, you can see throughout the entire region. I can tell you today for facts, Odessa, once again, hit hard. Mykolaiv, non-stop shelling. Zaporozhye, downtown Dnipro, Dnipropetrovsk. That's the old name. The new name is Dnipro. Here is the problem, as I have shared with you guys before, and we've been talking about it, and I will show you right now. Let me pull this up for us and then just show you this really quickly, because I have a lot of stuff I want to get to you tonight that's vitally important. Let's go here real quick. But the area that's the major problem is Kherson. We've talked about Kherson. I'll zoom it in for us some more. In fact, if you look at Kherson right there, let me see if I can. There we go. That's the map look I want. So tonight, folks, it's really, really bad in Odessa, in Mykolaiv, in Nikopol, in Zaporozhye, and then pushing up towards Kryvyi Rog. Very bad. And of course, folks, all of this shelling, missile attacks is coming from Kherson. Kherson is becoming a serious base of operations for the Russian assault. And if you look, the reason is because this was planned. There's no question. This was planned out of Crimea. You come into Kherson, and from there, they are unleashing. Today in Kharkiv, though, I've got some good news for you. Ukrainian forces were able to push back on the lines a little bit from Kharkiv to relieve some of the shelling on that city. But even in Donetsk, even in Lugansk, it was just a very, very brutal day. And tonight is very, very intensive with the shelling. You see the red fire, and you see the Siri's talking back to me, and you see the gold circle around it right there. That would actually be in the city of Donetsk, and Ukraine launched a counteroffensive today. And this is where the misinformation comes from. So remember, we're on a mission to set it straight. Here's what the misinformation will be. And I'm going to tell you ahead of time what it's going to be. Ukraine taxed their own land. That's what it's going to be. Do not believe that trash. Ukraine is not killing their own people. Never have, never will. These are honorable people. But today, Ukraine did strike a fuel and munition depot in Donetsk. Donetsk, right now, is not controlled by Ukraine. It's controlled by the enemy. It's enemy territory on Ukrainian sovereign dirt. How is Ukraine supposed to push back on the army of Russia if they cannot attack the army of Russia, even if the army of Russia is on Ukrainian soil? This is where the madness comes from. And then these bonkers people begin to run with these conspiracy theories that Ukraine is attacking its own people. They're not. But I can tell you today, Ukraine put to waste a fuel depot and an ammunition depot that is Russian. Yes, it would be the Ukrainian depot in the past that they built that Russia stole. They had to destroy it. It was done today. There are major fires right now in Donetsk that are burning. And yes, Ukraine did it, but not to attack Ukrainian citizens. It was a counterattack on military targets to defend their homeland. That's the truth. It doesn't matter what you read. I'm telling you, that's the truth. Here's why I think that Here's what I think, and this is why I'm confident that this war is not going to end unless a miracle, the Red Sea's parts or something. Last night or yesterday, President Biden appointed a specialist on Russia as the commander of NATO forces in Europe. Now, I want you to know, I applaud this move. There are thousands of moves that I will never applaud that our administration does. But on this one, whoever made this decision, it's the right one. Why? Because this guy knows what he's talking about. U.S. President Joe Biden has appointed General Christopher Cavoli as commander of NATO forces in Europe. You say, well, why are Americans the commanders of the NATO forces? Because it's all of our equipment and our soldiers and our technology. So, General Christopher Cavoli, commander of NATO forces in Europe. Now, here's why I like this. Cavoli has an MA in Russian and East European Studies from Yale, and he speaks the Russian language. He will replace Todd Walters, and that is 1D, who served as commander-in-chief of NATO's Joint Armed Forces in Europe for 3 years. So, General Cavoli, have at it, buddy. And I'm thankful that somebody is there who at least understands culture, educated in the Russian culture and systems, and my goodness, speaks the language. He can actually look at things and read them. He can listen to conversations. And when you speak the language, you see, okay, so let me explain this to you. There's one thing to speak a language. You guys that are learning your language, like on, what's those apps called? You know, the language learning apps. The one's based out of Pittsburgh. I can't remember. But apps you put on your iPhone or your Android and you learn a language. You're great. You learn the language. You can use it as a translator when you're speaking. But there's a difference when you really know the language. Because when you really know the language, you understand cultural language. Rosetta Stone, yeah, that's one. Babbel, thank you. All of those. Duolingo, that's the one. Duolingo in Pittsburgh. So you learn a language, and there you go, guys, ripping it and helping me. You learn a language and you know the language. You can speak it, you can communicate, all of those things. But there is a difference when you really know the language versus just terminology versus even grammar. But when you culturally learn the language, and I would think that this general will understand the cultural language. This is his specialty. Just because a translation says one thing, and that's right, JDO, it does not mean that is what it means. So I see this as a positive, 100%. Having a general in NATO who has Russian knowledge and understanding, we have to look at that as a positive. So the other things that happened over the last 24, 48 hours that make a big time of game changer is there is no limit on Estonia. Estonia is supplied for weapons for their military and for NATO by Israel. Maybe you knew that. Maybe you did not know that. They're supplied by Israel, and Israel has placed no limit on the ability of Estonia to supply Ukraine with Israeli weapons. Secondly, the Israeli officials are inclined now to increase Ukrainian aid in face of Russian atrocities. This mistake, and I'm going to call it a mistake, it was intentional, but this mistake of Sergei Lavrov, the foreign minister of Russia, to even breathe about Jews and Nazis was a tremendous mistake. Now, further, this brings Israel into the picture. And for those of us who are into biblical prophecy, into scripture, into all of these things, for sure, it opens up the table a little bit more to discuss future end-time events, looking at events that are happening in some of the Old Testament prophecies and New Testament scriptures. It does. It's a big deal, bringing Israel into the story more and more and more. So over the last 4 or 5 days, there is a veteran battalion of Israeli soldiers fighting alongside the Ukrainians. Israel has been basically stuck into a mud puddle and stepped on by Sergei Lavrov. They have been offended. They have been talked about, lied about. Now Estonia is free to give Israeli weapons, and Israel says, we're open to increasing more aid, and it has not gotten any better. There were even more anti-Semitic statements coming out of Moscow today. We'd be here for 5 hours if I played you everything that I have. I love this. This is a meme that came out today. As you know, President Macron has been reelected as the president of France. No matter what you think of him, believe me, that was much, much better than Le Pen. She was basically a Putin ally. This is the wife of Macron's saying, "You called him again, didn't you?" Maybe you know, maybe you do not know, but President Macron had a 2-hour discussion today with Vladimir Putin. And after it, Macron said that was a waste of 2 hours. It went nowhere. I tried to talk to him about the war, talk about Mariupol, talk about all the different topics, and it was basically a brick wall. And Putin told Macron, well, the West should stop sending arms. Well, Mr. Putin, I've got bad news for you, sir. Where's it at? Right here, 81 howitzers. I can tell you guys, 100% confirmation. 81 howitzers. And you military guys in here, you know much more than I know about this equipment. But I can tell you 81 howitzers are on Ukrainian soil. 90 are coming. 81 are there. 9 more are yet to come. They're in Western Ukraine. They are on Ukrainian dirt. These soldiers have been trained on the howitzers, and they are getting deployed. Do not stop sending arms. No, we'll send 90 howitzers over there. Pope Francis today made a mistake. He made a mistake. I do not ever want to, abuse or make brash statements about anyone, but Pope Francis today made a mistake. He said that the barking of NATO at the door of Russia, quote, the barking of NATO at the door of Russia may have led to the invasion of Ukraine, and that he didn't know whether other countries should supply Ukraine with more arms. So let me explain that to you. Let me explain that to you. That means that Pope Francis just said the same thing that Vladimir Putin said. That's what it is. Putin said to Macron, hey, they need to stop sending arms to Ukraine. Here comes Pope Francis. Maybe these nations should stop sending arms to Ukraine. Since February, Pope Francis has deplored the suffering of Ukrainians and denounced the invasion, which he has, but refrained from explicitly naming Russia as the aggressor, which he has not, reflecting both a Vatican tradition of neutrality, fair enough, and his own agenda of better relations with Kirill, the Russian Orthodox Church, as well as a reluctance to align the Vatican with U.S. foreign policy. Last quote was, in Ukraine, it was other states that created the conflict, Pope Francis said in the interview without identifying which states. I have a question for you, Pope Francis. Even if what you said is true, folks, dream with me for one moment. Dream with me for one moment. What if he's right? What if Pope Francis, I know you're going, what are you saying? You so excited over the 100K. You're not thinking right. Yeah, I'm thinking right. Listen, what if he's right? Let's say he's right. That still gives Russia a right to invade and start a war in the territory of another sovereign nation? Last time I checked, it was Russia that invaded Ukraine. It was not Ukraine that invaded Russia. Ukraine has invaded nobody since they become a sovereign nation, and they even gave up their nuclear weapons for security guarantees from other nations. Come on, man. In Ukraine, it was other states that created the conflict. Sorry. In Ukraine, it was Russia that created the conflict and started the war. Now, I wanted to get to the isms tonight. This is, I'm going to make this as big as I can for you because I want you to understand this. You hear these things, maybe you watch it on the news, maybe you watch it on YouTube channels, whatever. And you see, oh, well, that's a bunch of socialists. No, they're fascist. Of course, they hate the capitalists. No, they're communist. And you watch this stuff on the news or on YouTube and you go, yeah, okay, fascist. Socialist. Got it. Communist. Capitalist. But let's be honest. Let's be honest. We really do not know what those words mean. Be honest. If I was to turn that screen off right now and put up a test question, could you really answer what is the definition of fascism? What is the definition of capitalism? What is communism, socialism? Let me help you. Socialism is and this will even help you if you're in America and you hear and feel that we're moving to a socialist nation, which I believe many things that are socialist are coming into American culture. Absolutely. But that's not the topic. Socialism. Individuals may own property in small businesses. This is about ownership. State ownership of eventual services like electricity, water, internet. That's socialism. What's the difference between that and fascism? In fascism, individuals may own property in small businesses. State ownership of essential services are done through the dictator. Who owns the largest oil company in Russia? Vladimir Putin. Who's the fascist? 3, capitalism. Individuals has the right to own property, little to no government ownership of services or production. Communism. Entire elimination of property rights. No individual land ownership, no economic incentives to individually own. That's on ownership. Now, how about equality? In socialism, redistribution of income to create equal classes. There is total freedom of religion. In fascism, nationalistic religion, unequal redistribution of wealth to reinforce a rigid class structure. Fascism. The Russian Orthodox Church. And I thought they were communist. Capitalism, freedom of movement in a free economy gives people equal opportunity to pursue life. Yes. Communism, all are equal under the eyes of the government except the ruling class, which is in charge of the redistribution of wealth. Yes. You're seeing some combinations here in communism and fascism that maybe we haven't understood that existed. How about prices? Redistribution of wealth in socialism through government oversight. Price control on staple goods with much of the economy, as much of the economy runs unfettered. Kind of seems like where America's going. Fascism. Prices set around class structure and are influenced by supply and demand. Folks, if I could just take you inside Russia right now, that's how price structure is developed. Capitalism. Prices are set by consumer, corporation through supply and demand. Competition brings with it lower prices and better products. I'm watching the chat over here. I'm not even going to put it up. It's not even worth addressing. I love you, Zingster, but man, sorry, buddy. You are wrong on that one. Communism. Prices defined by government who respond and control supply and demand to artificially control pricing. Taxes. Socialism. High taxes focused on social services or welfare state. Fascism. High taxes focused on raising military funds for national defense. Russia. Nazi Germany. Capitalism. Limited taxes to match limited government. Communism. High, strict tax rates focused on redistributing wealth to central power. Healthcare. Free and accessible to all. Operated by the federal government. That's socialism. Fascism. Accessible and free to all that meet requirements. Race, nationality, citizenship are usually factors. Nazi Germany. modern day Russia. Capitalism, determined by the market, little or no government regulation. Communism, accessible to all, but distributed unequally. Notable figures in socialism: Cesar Chavez, Albert Einstein, Frederick Engels. Fascism: Benito Mussolini, Adolf Hitler, and Nikola Mandich. Capitalism: Adam Smith, Ronald Reagan, George Washington. Communism: Karl Marx, Fidel Castro, Joseph Stalin, Vladimir Lenin. The general philosophy. Then I'm going to show you one more thing that's going to blow you away. Internationalistic with idealized future based on redistribution of wealth to fund and support social programs. That's socialism. Fascism, nationalistic agenda usually centered around a powerful individual with an idealized past that encourages individualism. All right. I tried to give you a long rope. I'm sorry, but come on. Capitalism. The free market will determine prices and competition will drive improvements. That's capitalism. And finally, communism. Capitalism has failed to help the working class because it only incentivizes individuals and therefore must be torn through force. Now, let's get it where the rubber meets the road. You ready? Fascism. Cult of a chief leader. Germany? Yes. USSR? Yes. Russian Federation today? Yes. Ukraine 2014 when the war started? No. One-party political system. Germany? Yes. USSR? Yes. Russian Federation? Yes. Ukraine? No. Militarism. Germany? Yes. USSR? Yes. Russian Federation? Yes. Ukraine? No. Fourth, dominant political influence of secretive services. Germany? Yes. USSR? Yes. Russian Federation? Yes. Ukraine? No. Fifth, anti-Semitism. Thank you, Mr. Lavrov, yesterday. And xenophobia promoted, tolerated by authorities. Germany? Yes. USSR? Yes. Russian Federation? Yes. Ukraine? No. 6, subordination of media to authorities and powerful state propaganda machine. What have I shown you every 3 or 4 nights on the Russian media inside? Yes, Germany. Yes, USSR. Yes, Russia. Ukraine? No, they have a free press. Last, external aggressiveness and territorial claims to neighboring countries. Germany? Yes. Oh, we'll take you, Poland. We'll take you, Czech. USSR. Yes. Russian Federation? All they do is invade. Ukraine? No. Folks, I submit to you tonight that if you think Ukraine is fascist, if you think that Ukraine is communist, if you think any of these, I ask you to rewind and watch the last 10 minutes and at least consider the possibility that none of that junk you've been watching is true. Ukraine is not a fascist state. Ukraine is not a communistic state. Russia is fascist. Russia is communistic. I know. Well, they're on the opposite end of the spectrum on some things. Yes, they are. But they fall in both categories, and you can take that to the bank. China officially today blamed the war on the USA. So I saw some of your guys chat in there, and I don't mean to be disrespectful to any of you, but you're just not going to get in here and argue. I'll put you in timeout, and I'm sorry for that. But I don't want arguing. It goes too far. So if you are saying that the United States started this war, I just want you to know that you're agreeing with communist China. So when you're thinking about your Captain Crunch with that one, put that one in your noggin and think about it. You have to evaluate the things you write, the things you say. And if you do not know anything about Russia and Ukraine, stop writing and talking. And why don't you start listening? You have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Very simple. You're aggravating with this stupid stuff. The United States did not start this war. Russia did. Take your money and rip it. The puppet governments established by Russia through President Kuchma You don't even know who President Kuchma is, but you know who started this war. President Kuchma, Leonid Kuchma, is the one who started this war, a puppet put in place by Vladimir Putin, 2004. Get out of my face. Now I'm getting mad. This is ridiculous. Some of you don't have a clue what you're talking about. Get out of here. Or sit and listen and stop spewing your stupid venom. This is why I'm moving it to YouTube, because it's just ignorant that some of you, God bless you, I love you, and thank you for everything that you do. But it's just ignorant to spew your venom when you don't know what you're talking about. You don't even know who Leonid Kuchma is. Go look that up. Ridiculous trash that you spew, and you are the problem. Golly. It's unbelievable the venom that Christians spew. Check your Christianity, brother, sister, mama, and daddy. Unbelievable trash. U.S. started the war. Well, go on over to Shanghai and hang out with Xi. Good grief. You don't have a clue what you're talking about. Mariupol Drama Theater. Official number killed. 600. I guess that's a lie too. Ridiculous. I'll debate you anywhere, anytime, sucker. Sorry. You're stupid, some of the stuff you write. I'm sick of it. It's just ridiculous. So we're going to let's just run with this trash. How about this?
Вот этой буквы Z должны понимать, что если они рассчитывают, что их пощадят, нет, их не пощадят. Нет, это все по-серьезному уже. Это в случае чего концлагеря, перевоспитание, это, так сказать, стерилизация, это все очень серьезно.
Yeah, that's what we're a part of. Yeah. You understand, basically, when you say that the United States started the war, don't you understand you're actually saying you agree with Russia? You can't even think that deep. That's what you're saying. That trash right there, that's what we agree with. Let me show you the reality. My goodness, the United States has done more for Ukraine than any other country on the planet. Take your Biden and Obama conspiracies and stick them where the sun don't shine. Unbelievable trash. My wife is going to come up here because I'm really losing it tonight. And that's why I'm asking everybody to come to YouTube, because this is not indicative of, it's hard to tell the truth, man, when you're personally attached and people just do trash. It's not even worth it. It's not even worth it. All right. Thank you, JDO. 600 dead in Mariupol. Unbelievable. So, you want to know what it looks like in Mariupol today? I told you earlier that Mariupol has fallen, other than Azovstal, and we have not really thank you, everybody. Let me get some tea. Just can't stand it. It's just the America I know doesn't do this. This is Mariupol right now, today, video from on the streets, basically put back 80 years in time. There are still 100,000 people in Mariupol, and they're having to live life. But folks, they're living, they're just having to sell on the streets. This is today, Mariupol. Getting ready to show you. I'm going to put a freeze frame on this guy over here on the right. Look at the right there. Do you see how thin that guy's arms are? You see in the background, all the shops are destroyed. Everything is happening on the streets. No electricity. If you want to charge your phone, you come to this guy. You pay him, and he'll charge your device off of the generator. People buried in their yards right on the street. Folks, that is the reality of Mariupol today. A couple of other videos I received today, and I want to show you this one right here. Man in Mariupol. And I slowed it down so that we could read it good, telling his story.
Мы когда проходили фильтрационный лагерь, русские военные задавали просто вопрос. С начала апреля действует ежедневно режим тишины для государей. Почему вы не выходили? Первый режим тишины, который был нами замечен, это было 30 апреля, когда весь день действительно не стреляли. До этого кучу раз, когда стреляли. Убрались колонны, начинаются прилеты. Артиллерия, собственно, поэтому выхода такого не было.
Азовсталь, вы были в Азовстале, вас вывела украинская сторона, да. Передали Красному Кресту.
Нас вывели, ну я не знаю как всех, но нас направили, мы вышли через проходные, дошли до места расположения военных, там был Красный Крест, был...
Военных или Красного Креста?
Там изначально стоит блокпост военных, и рядом возле них...
Российские.
Да. И с ними были Красный Крест и ООН, то есть они, в принципе, нас сопровождали до Безыменного. У нас ехало туда 3 автобуса, потом подъехал чуть-чуть четвертый, когда люди подтянулись. И они присутствовали при всем процессе наших...
И говорят, что в Безыменном отношения как будто бы под конвоем были, да? Это правда?
Так и есть. Нас привезли, мы все сидели в автобусе в туалете, собрали из группы, нас вывели туда, вернули обратно. Прошло фильтрацию, вы сели в автобус, вас не выпускают. Вышел, покурил, сел обратно. После мы по очереди вышли, мужчины отдельно проходили, женщины отдельно. Меня, допустим, все вещи я открыл, выложил на стол, все перешерстили, телефон полностью прошерстили. Они предложили варианты. Вы едете либо в Россию, остаетесь в ДНР, либо в Запорожье, кто куда хочет. Первая партия людей выехала 30 апреля. Они там ночевали, получается, 2 ночи. Мы выехали 1 мая, мы ночевали 1 ночь, и 2 мая нас уже, мы колонной двинулись на Запорожье. Ехали мы 2 дня. На Мангуше мы забрали 2 автобуса людей, которые прошли фильтрацию, и порядка 6-7 машин частных. Они с нами тоже вместе поехали. Со слов МЧСника, который нас сопровождал, на порте Мариуполя стоял около 500 людей. Их мне дали добро заехать забрать. Порядка, в каждом поселке порядка 100 человек стоят на выезд. И их не пускают.
Просто люди с сумками, да?
Люди с сумками стоят, мы остановились, Красный Крест к ним подошел, он подошел с военными, пытались договориться, у нас едет 500 автобусов, и занято буквально 5. То есть остальные свободны, они не дали.
Не дали россияне.
Россияне не дали возможность этих людей увезти.
So there you have it. That's the update. This guy was on one of those 3 buses yesterday we talked about that got to Zaporozhye. He's telling his story. 50 buses came, only 5 were allowed to be used. I see you guys in the chat talking about a potential ceasefire on the 5th through the 7th. That is true. It will be they're scheduling it to be at a set amount of hours during the day where more people can get out. We will see if that happens. What I can tell you for a fact that today I have not heard from Sergei Volin. We have not heard from Palomar. And we know 100% for a fact that there are battles going on inside the Azovstal, and now the Russian forces are trying to take it over, basically that urban type, tunnel type, door-to-door, building-to-building warfare. Now, I did get a video out from this guy right here. And this guy would actually be the most important guy. This is from Denis Prokopenko. He is actually the commander of the Azov. I have that ready to go for you. About 45 seconds. He tells the truth. This came out a little while ago. He was able to get it out.
Слава Україні! Маріупольський гарнізон вже 70-й день сам на сам протистоїть переважаючим силам противника. З 25 квітня ми тримаємо кругову оборону на заводі «Азовсталь». Вже другий день, як противник прорвався на територію заводу, йдуть важкі кровопролитні бої. Я пишаюся своїми солдатами, які прикладають надлюдські зусилля, щоб стримувати натиск противника. Я дякую всьому світу за колосальну підтримку гарнізону Маріуполь. Наші солдати на це заслуговують. Ситуація вкрай складна, але не дивлячись ні на що, ми продовжуємо виконувати наказ тримати оборону.
There you have it. So there is fighting going on inside. Yeah, they've gone dark for a day before. That's true. Any word on the remaining buses? No. Never received a word. The other 8 that was supposed to arrive, and now we don't even know because that guy said only 5 left. But supposedly 8 are still missing, at the minimum 2. And it's not that they're missing. We know where they're at. They're in Donetsk. And probably forced for those people to go the other direction. Kind of interesting, you get a little hope. I mean, the guy sitting there telling us that 50 buses came, and on that one only 5 were able to leave. So trying to paint a picture. This is Popasna. Zhenya and I've talked about this city. President Zelensky has talked about this city. No, the city is not red. That is an overlay graphic that shows how much of that city, population, 25,000 people. I guess that's basically like Sharon, if you're here locally. That much of the city is leveled. That is a pre-image of the city, and that is an overlay that shows the portion of the city that's destroyed. A couple of last things here. As you know, of course, food going up, global food index. So this affects, of course, the war zone Ukraine. It affects Europe, and of course, it's affecting the United States as well. Fed today raised interest rates by 0.5. That's James's channel, James's show, but these things do affect everything. And I can tell you today, I had to make a road trip down to Butler. I actually texted PK this picture. I said, man, what is going on? This was today at the Love's truck stop, I-79 in Slippery Rock. $6.18 for diesel. $4.19, $4.49, and $4.84. Maybe you're in here tonight watching from California and saying, hey, that's nothing. Well, it is here. And finally, an update. This is our buddy, Kirill. European Commission proposes sanctioning the head of the Russian Orthodox Church. That was earlier, and now I can tell you that the Russian Patriarch has been sanctioned. Now, with that said, I want to go back, apologize to all of you guys for losing my mind tonight, but I can't take but so much. It's like defending your family. Yeah, he's a KGB guy. It's like defending your family and your home. Let me ask you a question. Even would you allow, somebody to talk about your family like that? No, of course not. So that's where we're at. I want to show you one last thing. I want to thank you guys for all of your support. And the good news for the day. Actually, let me do this before we leave. Meadville. What's in Meadville? Dude, if sanctions worked, Cuba would have folded decades ago. Hello. Listen, guys, I love you. And yes, I am a pastor. I am a minister. I'm a musician. But even pastors get angry sometimes. So, but you're just not going to talk about my family or land that way. You're not even going to talk about America that way. I didn't even go that far, but I won't. So I just want to put a couple comments as we close out. Don Gentilini, let's see. Worked basically in that entire area during the Soviet Union. Was one of the greatest missionaries ever in Eastern Europe. We love you, Ukraine. You inspire us all to appreciate our freedom. You've already experienced Soviet occupation, and you're willing to die to be free. Awesome update, Pastor Greg. Thank you. How about this one, Deb Erskine? Thank you. This nightly broadcast has done much to educate and enlighten me, my friends and family. You and those working behind the scenes are very much appreciated. Hey, so are all of you. All together, we've done an amazing job. I want to thank all of you. And as we talked about earlier, maybe you're just jumping in late. Folks, how about this? We have hit the goal, $100,131.21 that we have all done together. Much respect, much love to all of you. May the Lord bless you, keep you, cause his face to shine upon you, be gracious to you, peace upon you, and peace upon Ukraine. Still trying to figure out why PK was writing Meadville in here. Rick Barry, keep it calm. I'm not even going to show your comment. Love you guys. Listen, we're just trying to do our best and support our family, and it's just hard when you really do know the truth. You really do know the truth. We love you all, and be blessed. We'll see you in 23 hours. Tomorrow night, Rostislav Kudin. Get ready for an awesome hour. Very articulate, very, very articulate. Wonderful friend, pastor that we are supporting. Spoke with him earlier today. And he'll be with us here tomorrow night. Thank you all. We love you. I am over my rattle. I'm happy. Slava Ukraina. Gerom slava. My lubim vas. We love you. Пока. Goodbye. See you tomorrow, 23 hours. Good night.